Hey, what's up? This is Level with Me. This is my Twitch show where I play some kind of video game and then talk about what I think is going on in the level design with it. And today we are kind of nearing the end of Half-Life 2. Um, hopefully we'll get to the end of Half-Life 2 in this next hour. Oh, oops. So what just happened, we went on this weird little ride. We're inside the Citadel currently, and we're in this weird room where it's incinerating all of our weapons. Oh my god. What's happening to all our weapons? Oh no. Well, what happens when the Combine tried to incinerate our gravity gun is that it becomes a super gravity gun. And that's the big plot twist. Which is actually pretty interesting, right? Like, they make... Oops, do I still have no target on? Oops, sorry. Which is pretty interesting, because in a lot of video games, they'll give you a weapon, and the weapon is, like, rarely, like, a plot point. Like, a lot of people probably saw the gravity gun in Half-Life 2 and thought, okay, it's like a gameplay gimmick kind of thing.
At last.
But with the super gravity gun, you can now like shoot electricity, you can kind of do whatever you want. It's like pretty cool. It's like a pretty cool end game kind of gimmick here. You can like pull dudes around and throw them and then they like vaporize kind of. It's kind of a very interesting end game structure because you wouldn't expect this to happen in Half-Life 2. But, that's kind of Valve's MO, I think. They always want to surprise you for the end, right? If you remember Half-Life 1, the thing they did for Half-Life 1 was teleport you to this weird floaty alien dimension called Zen. Which was pretty cool. But here, they turn you into, like, this supercharged, like, superhero, and now you can just charge through this last level and, like, kill everything. And it's kind of intense. And then what do we do now? Do I go over here? No. Oh, do I go over here? I think I go over here. I kind of like the architecture here. Like, this is kind of a cool room where they have this... Oh. What's going on? Who's shooting at me? They kind of have this like circular motif going on, which I'm kind of digging. And then they have all these panels surrounding you. Like we usually don't have these kinds of panels in like modern day like human architecture, right? Like you might see these, and if you go into like a theater, like acoustic panels to like help dampen the sound or something, but here, it's like really interesting shapes that I actually like a lot. They have this panel going up and then curving back in on itself. Like, oh my god. What a nuisance. Who's shooting me? So, like, just really interesting shapes going on. And then they also feel kind of distinctly alien. Like, we would not build like this here on Earth. This is not how humans build things. And that's always kind of cool, like where they really do think about what an alien architecture might look like or how that might behave. Because I think if you like play a lot of like sci-fi games or something with a lot of aliens, it's usually just like they're very like human, right? There'll always be these ideas of like walls and floors and doors and stuff. And then those are very distinctly kind of like human anthropomorphic kind of affordances. So it's kind of cool when an alien architecture really does feel kind of alien, and the dimensions on it are like different, not for like human scale. In the chat, people are asking why that soldier waved at me. He wasn't waving at me. He was waving at some friends or some allied soldiers, presumably to come at me or something. But maybe he was waving at me, who knows? So then that was Valve's way just now of like kind of teaching us that we can grab these little balls right here, which is going to be an important mechanic throughout this level. And the way they set that up was they had us come up this lift. The lift actually traps us up here. We actually can't duck back down, which is pretty important. So we're forced into here, and then there's this giant force field. They're out of range of my lightning bolt, so I actually have to try to grab them instead. And when I try to grab them, I conveniently end up grabbing one of these little electricity ball things instead. Let's go down here. Oh, I like this texture. Like, I like how, like, there's so much detail right here with all these, like, ridges and everything. I also kind of like, with this ramp, they didn't really bother trying to disguise this ramp, right? This ramp kind of just cuts into the wall, and it doesn't really matter, right? No player is going to look down. They also bathe this part of the wall in shadow, so really you have no normal person is going to look here. But I will look, because I'm a weirdo. Okay, yeah, let's keep going down. Oh, and yes, now we can, if you see in the lower left of the screen, now my armor is at 200 instead of 100. That's another thing they do here. Where that, like, contributes to this feeling of, like, feeling super powered, kind of. Oh, God. Where do we go? I think we go this way? Oh, I like this room a lot. I'm gonna turn off the AI for a little bit. I like this room a lot because, again, notice how weird the scale is, right? Like, this just feels like a weird kind of monumental alien overlord, like, architecture. Like, the rooms are all way too tall, the walls are way too big. The one concession that this building makes to the human, like, form factor are these little control consoles. So, I don't know, I kind of like, oh, and the stairs, I guess, right? These stairs are built for humans. Except this stairwell is kind of weird. It's like they don't even know how to build stairs, right? Look at these, like, weird cuts. Like, that just feels really, like, awkward to me. But I like that it's, like, very purposefully awkward, I think. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I should continue. Well, before we continue, I also want to show you some other stuff. Since we're producing so many ragdolls, we might want to talk about physics a little bit. Here I've turned on the debug visualization for the ragdoll physics. And if you're not super familiar with physics engines in games, oh my god, and he's like being electrocuted. That's really morbid. Here you can see the wireframe of the actual physics mesh. Whenever you play with, like, physics objects in a video game, especially ragdoll human kind of objects, the actual mesh, the 3D mesh that we do collision against is very, very low poly. That's because there's a cost associated with every triangle we want to test collision against. So that means if you lower the poly count on your physics collision meshes, you end up like saving a lot of cycles. So here you can see the mesh. His shoe is not the actual shoe, right? It's like a weird box. He's like wearing tissue boxes on his feet or something. Same thing with the rest of him, right? Oh, this is kind of morbid. Where here you can see the rest of his collision mesh is also, like, very much simple, right? His fist is like a weird kind of like cylinder kind of thing, and his elbows are like weird, like, sausage cylinders. And again, this is how physics, it looks like he's like holding his hands up like to his ears. This is how physics in pretty much every video game works. And we just make it kind of invisible to the player, and you don't even notice. because you are too concerned with the awesome graphics or whatever. Okay, let's keep going, and I'll turn the AI back on. Here. Oh my god, they're shooting at me. Better hit them.
To blame, of course. My disappointment in Eli Vance and Isaac Kleiner is far greater than my sorrow over your
I kind of like this gesture in the level design too, where the villain of Half-Life 2, who we've been seeing throughout the game on these screens, we just keep seeing him on more screens, and he's kind of like speaking like a JRPG villain, you know? I kind of like that. You know, there's like kind of this like storytelling kind of going on in this background. That works really well. I think I should press the button. Who's shooting me? I don't even know. Oh, over here. Oh, up there. Uh-oh, I'm running out of health. You go heal up. Oh, and the healing rate is so much faster, too. I like that. Oh, I think I'm supposed to shoot these balls at them. They really want to make sure I've, like, trained enough on this, I guess. Charge up a little bit. Jesus Christ, they're throwing like a million enemies at me too. Okay. Can I press this button yet? I don't know why I can't press the button. Have to go back over here. Oh. Am I supposed to go on this thing? Oh. That's kind of confusing. Yeah, I have no idea what is going on with that. So now I'm in this like weird elevator section, and they're gonna keep shooting at me, around me, which is kind of annoying. Uh-oh, I'm running out of health though. Let's see if I can survive. I might just have to turn on God mode. I don't know. I really like this elevator though. Like, look at the shape of this elevator shaft, right? Like, no, like, very few 90-degree angles, right? Very intentional. And I'm just gonna turn on God mode, because I guess I'm bad at video games. I do feel like this section kind of wears out its welcome in the end a little bit though. Like, I end up having to like keep doing this thing where I have to pick up all these little bouncy ball things and like shoot them. And it's like, okay, I kind of get the picture. Like, I'm supposed to like shoot them and stuff. I kind of feel like it went a little, kind of like wish it went a little bit faster. I don't know. But it does feel very cathartic to have like this weird instant kill lightning gun at like my disposal. Okay, I'll turn God mode off now. And again, this is my favorite texture in the Citadel texture set. Like, I really just love these ridges. Just to go here though. just more of these like power cores everywhere. And then the game is just throwing like a million like monsters at me too, like a million soldiers. This is like more soldiers than I've fought throughout than like the rest of the game, I would. So that also like, I think that like enemy pacing and this kind of like encounter structure also kind of helps contribute to the idea that this is like some kind of end game, some kind of final culmination of everything. Before we move on, I do want to highlight all these like big monolithic like white light kind of things. I just think these are kind of gorgeous because, well, first of all, if you ever see anything like this in like real life, it's like pretty cool. It's really hard to do this with like human present day fixtures. It's really hard to get like a really soft, fully distributed, smooth light, like monolithic light like this. If you do see something like this, it might be like a frosted window or something with all the sunlight coming through it. But what I like here about its use in the Citadel is that it kind of bends in, like we know this isn't sunlight. We know this is like some weird kind of like alien energy. And it's always bending in on itself. And then also just highlights all these really interesting shapes they have going on too. Like they have all these, like this weird little alcove thing is really interesting, and then they even thought to put a skylight in this alcove. Like that's, I don't know, that's just really cool, I think. And then just the shapes, like it's kind of like this brutalism, I think, that works really well for the Citadel. Where was I? Oh yeah, let's keep going here. Oh, and I like this room. Oh man, look how tall it is, right? There's like a monumentalness to it that is just really fascinating. And then I think here's like a one-way drop. Let's go down here. So even though I'm literally like Superman, I still feel kind of small in this like super huge kind of thing. Like super huge monumental architecture. Oh my god, now I have to fight one of these Striders pretty much head on. To like shoot all these. Oh man, did I just die? Oh man, that was sloppy of me. Sorry. Try to be a bit more careful this time. Oh, oops, this is the wrong way. Okay, let's try that again. And if I fail again, I'll just turn on God mode. I kind of like how they structured this encounter too. Like I see the soldiers from really far away, and I just have to pick up this and then just slowly like walk towards them. But what's really cool is that in order to like fully protect me, it's blocking my view completely. Like I can't really see what's going on. Oh man, okay, I'm just gonna turn on God mode. I don't really have time for this. It's pretty sneaky to hit this though. This is where the Strider AI is actually pretty sneaky, because it always keeps like crouching down. Can't hit it. God. Like a weird shooting gallery kind of thing. Okay, there we go. This room, I don't really like. It feels kind of careless. Like they didn't expect players to actually like turn around and look behind them. Because this just looks really, really sloppy to me. Like they could have done a little bit more up here. Although they are right, players probably wouldn't look behind them, right? They would probably just keep walking forward after they kill the Strider. But still, I don't know. This is like a 3D space. I usually don't like build directly for like player flow like this. Here they're making like a lot of assumptions about where you're gonna look, which is sometimes good, sometimes not so good. I don't know.
Look, Gordon. Look at what you are throwing away. Is it?
Well, can I pull this screen down? No. That would have been really cool though. Okay, then we have to go down here. We have to pull all these balls out. And that opens up the force field. Now I can duck down here, I think? And then they kind of repeat this section again, where you have to... earlier, last week, we got in one of these prisoner pods, and we were basically made a prisoner. And it's kind of weird that the video game, after giving you so much agency and power, is the level design is like saying, okay, now submit to the video game again, willingly. Which is kind of weird, right? We know it's probably bad to get in one of these, but we have no choice, so now we have to. It's kind of interesting that Half-Life 2 doesn't try to explain or justify this device anymore. Like, it just presents it to you, and then you have to do it. So now we go on another, like, guided little tour tram ride again. And we have to look at this thing. Uh-oh, there's a red laser. I'm gonna get scanned by this red laser. What's gonna happen? And there's the Combine camera, rarely used throughout the game actually. Usually only for like scripted sequences. Maybe they planned some kind of stealth gameplay stuff and then it just didn't really work out. I don't know. I love all those tubes. Look at all these tubes, man. Yeah, it is kind of like you're inside some kind of like, you're in like a desktop tower or a computer, kind of. And just look at all these shapes and like all these monsters you've never seen before. If you've played the Half-Life 1, there's a section of like a Zen factory, and this is what this section kind of reminds me of. With all these weird conveyor belts going everywhere at like weird angles. We know it's a factory, but it's clearly not like a human factory, right? Oh, very dark here. But that skybox outside, which we can catch a glimpse of, is like really gorgeous. Oh, there we go. That's actually made of like 9 separate tiling textures that they had to put together. Because otherwise the resolution on that is just so high. But still a little bit too dark. I think if you check one of the YouTube video comments, someone commented on how there's a Half-Life 2 update mod where they actually recompiled and redid all the lighting so that it's not so weird and oddly dark and ugly. And oh no, they took away my super gun. That's sad.
I'll take him from here.
Now it's Michelle
Don't
Forbes.
struggle. It's no use. Until you're where he wants you, there's nothing you can do. I'm sorry, Gordon.
No, she's not. Oh man, I like how they got these fixtures horizontally like that.
Inhabited by vast.
That's really clever,
meteorological
actually.
intelligences.
They never do
Worlds
this. In the rest of the game,
stretched
they don't do
across
that.
The membranes where the dimensions
Oh, I should be
intersect.
watching what's happening instead of
Impossible
looking at
to
the lights.
describe with our limited vocabulary.
What I've seen is also beyond words, Breen. Genocide. Indescribable evil. Good God.
Well, if it isn't Gordon Freeman at last. What's this? I'll put it over there.
You
I think that's my favorite voice
my
line of the game.
gratitude,
He's
Doctor.
like, "What's this?"
First,
Oh,
you
I don't
lead
care.
me straight to the doorstep of my oldest friend, and then you deliver yourself. If I'd known you were going to come straight up to my office, I wouldn't have bothered hunting you in the first place. Having both of you in my keeping ensures I can dictate the terms of any bargain I care to make with the Combine.
Dr. Breen. Wallace.
Yes,
I like how they
Judith,
put
what
the
is it?
gravity gun behind her,
The
so you
bargain
kind
we
of
should be
forget
making
about
is
it
for
for a
Eli's
little
life
bit,
so he
because
can
it'll come back
continue
into
his
play later
research.
in this.
Thanks to you, we have everything we need in that regard. You're more than qualified to finish his research yourself. What neither you nor I can do is convince that rabble.
Oh yeah,
in
the voice
streets
actor for Dr.
to give up
Breen,
their
Robert
sense of
Culp,
struggle.
died, so
Yet Eli
that's kind of sad.
refuses to speak the words that would save them
Very good
all.
performance,
Save
though.
them. For what?
Eli, if you won't do the right thing for the good of all people, maybe you'll do it for one of them.
Alex. Honey.
Dad. Gordon?
God damn you.
Oh no,
will
we're
you
all
let it go?
captured.
That's all up to you, my old friend. Will you let your stubborn short-sightedness doom the entire
So just
species?
look at all the animation, all the
give your
movement,
child
all
a
the
chance
actor
to
blocking
remember
going
that.
on in this scene,
How
and just
dare you even
understand
mention
that
her.
it probably took them like a month or
Never
two or
dare you have
three
your mother's
just to
eyes, but
create
your
this like
father's stubborn
2-minute
nature.
dramatic sequence.
You haven't seen a bit of it yet.
Really? Well, let's see how well it serves you on the far side of a combined portal.
Go ahead, Breen. If that's the worst you can do, send us both through your portal.
Oh, it's hardly the worst. But you might find that hard to believe once you get there.
It isn't necessary.
I agree. It's a total waste. Fortunately, the Resistance has shown it is willing to accept a new leader. And this one has proven to be a fine
Oh
pawn
man, I
for
really
those
like
who
how they
control
modeled these out.
No.
Don't listen to him.
That's just,
Gordon.
those are
How
just
about it,
really
Godfrey?
great shapes
Did you
right
realize your
there.
contract was open to the highest bidder?
Gordon would never make any kind of deal with you.
I understand if you don't wish to discuss this in front of your friends. I'll send them on their way, and then we can talk openly.
Don't struggle, honey.
Dad, I'm so sorry.
Alex, sweetheart.
Judith, what do you think you're doing?
We're doing what I could never do alone. We're stopping you.
Yes.
Guards, get in here! They know you betrayed them. They'll turn on you. Judith, Dr. Mossman, please!
I'm
Oh, she
sorry,
had a change of
Wallace.
heart. Yay.
You're all out of time. Don't.
Hurry!
Oh no, watch out behind you.
You fool!
Watch out, he's gonna.
No!
Dad!
Oh, no. Don't worry about me, honey.
There's no time, Alex. He's on his way to the portal. You'll need this.
Dr. Mossman, Judith, look after my father.
Don't you worry.
Dad, I'm not saying goodbye.
Never.
Come on, Gordon. Let's go.
My girl.
Okay, before we go on, I want to talk about this room a little bit, because I really like the design here. So first of all,
You again.
like, I love these windows, and like, I love how they have the light kind of streaming through it. It's like all this light coming through these like bars a little bit. It's kind of like a prison almost a little bit, and just extending like so far along. I think the light is a little bit too red. I would have made this a little bit like more yellow or something, but oh well, whatever. Other stuff that's going on. I love this console. I love this carpet runner that they have going too. Like, Like, it's so like smart. Like, I don't know, like, it's just so, there's just so much going on in this room. I love how they lit these corners, but then they kind of leave the main middle of this room kind of dark. I feel like it makes it feel more like mysterious, where we can kind of see the shape and contour of like the outer corners of this room, but we can't really like see the middle of it. It's also really useful to like light it like a stage, I think, where like all the spotlights are concentrating exactly where we need to look, pretty much, which I think works really well. And then when they have all this red light coming from these windows, that kind of gives them an opportunity to do like a really nice edge light also, or like a rim light kind of on their faces. You know, if you like do any photography or anything, this is basically an angle that we might call like golden hour, right? You're supposed to like take your family photographs on the beach, like right before sunset or after sunset, I forget. But it's supposed to be like a very pleasing angle on you, a very pleasing like sunlight angle. But again, this carpet, right? It's kind of a funny reversal of the carpets we've been seeing throughout the rest of the game, where usually they're like big and kind of like ragged and torn. Meanwhile, this is like really nice and immaculate and like perfectly maintained, but it's like, you know, like soulless a little bit, right? Like, he doesn't really appreciate this carpet. He just puts it here because he likes how like expensive it looked, right? You know, this carpet might be nicer and fancier, but it's not as like well loved as the other rugs we've been seeing throughout the rest of the game. Other stuff going on. I also kind of like this like block right here. Well, all his furniture got toppled up, unfortunately, but oh, I also write a piece about chairs. Again, read Heterotopias. That's a video game level design architecture zine that I contributed to. And in issue 2, I write about chairs in Half-Life 2. And this chair in Dr. Breen's office does not appear anywhere else in the game. It's just one special, it's a hero prop that we might call in game art. And this hero prop is here just to characterize Dr. Breen as someone who would sit in this kind of chair, where it's super tall, it's like a fancy leather chair that doesn't exist maybe anywhere else on Earth because humans are being like subjugated or whatever. Other stuff that's going, like office chairs are actually very recently invented in the history of chairs. You don't really see them until maybe like the Industrial Revolution, kind of, or maybe a little bit after that, when you actually do have offices and factories. And the purpose of the office chair is to make sure that you keep sitting down, to make sure that you keep working, that you're an efficient cog for capitalism. So it's kind of very fitting that Dr. Breen is sitting in this fancy office chair, because he probably does think of himself as some kind of like CEO for humankind, and now humans are like a form of like a corporation or something like that. Anyway, let's keep going and maybe not. Oh, wait. Okay, before we go though, I love these pillars too. These pillars, again, aren't used anywhere else in Half-Life 2. They're just really, I love the modeling on them, like the shapes on them. It's kind of like a mix of like a low poly, kind of faceted, like chunky style, along with like nice little details that like really just sell it. I like the shape, and I like how they seem almost just like custom molded for this room. Okay, we can continue now. Oh, and then we see more busts. Can we break it? Maybe let's bring all the statues with him. Let's confront him with his own vanity.
Come on.
Oh, I really like that they used this texture for the pedestal. That's really interesting. Like, if you asked me to texture this pedestal, I would have used a plain texture, because I would have thought that this ridge texture would have been too obvious of like an illusion or something. But I think it actually works really well, especially when you have this small spotlight, pin light, like kind of like coming down on it.
We better hurry, Gordon.
It like looks a lot more detailed than it is, even though it's just a block, right? Okay, let's finally move on.
We haven't
Oh, and I
known each
love
other
that
very
use of the
long, but
light fixture. Laying it
I
on
knew
its
you didn't
side,
have to do this.
brilliant.
I had to rescue my father, but you... Well... Thanks for coming after me.
In the chat, someone is asking, why are we going after that guy? And the answer is, I don't know. I think that's maybe an instance of what you might call fridge logic in video game storytelling, where you don't really think about it that much. You just know, yeah, okay, let's chase him. Let's bring him down, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Damn it, not again!
Oh, I like how he's smiling there. That's a nice touch.
Hey, look what he left behind. The gravity gun. He doesn't have a clue, does he? Take the gravity gun, Gordon.
I wonder if you pick it up early, it's probably scripted
I
to
wonder
not
where
have
he's
her
going.
tell you that, right?
Oh my god. This is the Citadel's dark fusion reactor. It powers their tunneling entanglement device. We'll never have a chance. to
Tunneling,
escape.
entanglement,
We've
device,
got to
blah blah
stop
blah
that
blah blah blah
debris.
blah. Oh no, flashing red lights. I don't know
can't
what's
shut it
going
down.
on.
Looks like he's turned over control to the other side. You'll have to go into the core and do what you can.
I love how the screens look in this game too.
Get in the elevator and I'll let you in.
Like super interesting, but still like super alien and stuff. Good stuff. And then this is gonna be the final set piece of Half-Life 2, where we're at the very top of the Citadel, at the very top of this giant skyscraper that we've been looking at throughout the past 10 hours of this game. And now we're finally at the top and seeing what happens here. Pretty exciting.
Get in the elevator
I really like the shapes they have going on here too. Like there's some kind of symmetry, but it's also kind of like very carefully asymmetrical, you know, very balanced, but still different shapes on different sides. Yeah, I really like how they just have all these beams
Get in
jutting
the
out.
elevator and I'll let you
That's really nice. Okay, we'll keep going, I guess. Oh man, I like these consoles. I like all these pipes going up too.
Get in the
Notice how plain the ceiling actually is. This is why lighting is just super, super important when you're building out your level. If you already know how you're gonna light it, if you already know you're gonna keep the top part of this room really dark, then you don't need to build out the top of the room. You can just leave that in shadow and then just use spotlights to concentrate all the focus and push it down to the bottom of your room. And then that ends up saving yourself a lot of work.
Get in the elevator.
I think that's what marks the difference between a level designer who's like super experienced and knows how to like cut corners, and a level designer who might just mindlessly want to detail everything. Oh, I'm already charged up. Okay, let's go.
Get in the elevator and I'll let do your worst, Gordon.
I cut her off her line. That's
But be
awkward.
careful.
Bye. Now we're riding the final elevator of the game. Ooh, kiting. Do I still have God mode on? Oops. Okay, I'm gonna turn off God mode and try to beat it fairly. And then if I can't, then I'll cheat. As we walk forward.
There he is.
Dr. Freeman, you really shouldn't be out there. At the moment of synapse, as I
Notice as we
teleport,
walk
this
in the
chamber
room,
will
they
be
put
big
Dr.
and
Breen
far
smack
from
dab in
yet
front
to
of
be
us
named by
so
the
that we
user.
pretty much have to notice
Perhaps
him.
when I have the leisure to do the work myself, I'll name one of them after you. That way you won't be completely forgotten. When the singularity collapses, I will be far away from here, in another universe, as a matter of fact. You, on the other hand, will be destroyed in every way it is possible to be destroyed, and even in some which are essentially impossible.
Oh no, Combine soldiers.
Now I have to climb up these ramps. Break down these force fields so we can pass. Like, kind of like what we've been doing
I don't know
before.
what you can possibly hope to achieve apart from your own annihilation.
Don't listen to him.
And when the shield is down, we can keep going.
I warned you this was futile.
He's plotting, Gordon. Don't listen to him.
And where do I go? Do I go over here? I kind of like this trajectory we're doing. We're kind of like circling and spiraling around and around and around. That's kind of cool.
Breen started his ascent. Hurry, Gordon, before he escapes.
And now you can see this is kind of like a timer, kind of like the end of Portal 1, where they put in a timer, kind of. And in practice, the timer is really slow, actually. You're not in like any huge danger. But still, any minor timer, even if it's slow, even if you actually do have a lot of time, you know, feels like a lot. Where do I go now? Oh, I'm supposed to jump on another platform somewhere? Not really clear to me. Did I not have jumped off just now? Oh, I have to go on this thing. And then it takes me over here. Oh, and then I have to ride this thing, I think?
I could have told you that was pointless, Dr. Freeman.
Go, Gordon.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong way. Do I go over here now?
Are you still
Okay, I go
with
on
us,
this
Dr.
thing.
Freeman? Not for much longer, I think.
I kind of like how this
If only you had
timer
honestly
is like
found
in
this
world
energy
too.
For a useful purpose.
Like it's pretty much a vertical progress bar a little bit.
Oh my god. The portal is opening.
I hope you said your farewells.
And what do I have to do? Do I have to like knock something down or something? I don't really understand what I'm supposed to be hitting. Am I supposed to be going to this side and like shooting? Oh, oops. Okay, let's try that again.
His ascent. Hurry,
It's just
Gordon,
so dark
before he
up there. I
escapes.
don't even know what's happening. Am I supposed to be riding something? Where am I going? I ride this thing up, right? No? Oh wait, no, I'm back to this part, sorry. And then I have to keep riding this whole elevator thing again. So I go up here. And then I can ride this thing.
Keep going.
I could have told you that was pointless, Dr. Freeman.
Go here. And then I
Are you
go.
still with us, Dr. Freeman? Not for much longer, I think. If only you had harnessed your boundless energy
Oh, and then I have to
for
go
a
up here
useful
again.
purpose.
Okay, this time I'll save. I don't have to repeat all that.
Oh my god. The portal's opening.
Oh, okay. So, Doctor. Oh, oops.
Go back.
Oh, oops. Okay. This time I won't fall off to my death. I don't know why I keep doing that. Right? It looks like there's a catwalk there. It's not my fault, at any rate.
I hope you say your farewell.
I also have to keep shooting this thing, apparently.
Go back, Freeman. You have no idea what you're doing. You don't know what you'll unleash. You could bring down this whole citadel. Think, man. Think of the people below. No!
Uh-oh, I destroyed the portal. What's going on?
Yeah! You did it! Come on, Gordon. We've got
Oh,
to
didn't
get
you?
out of
Yeah, I
here.
didn't have to kill the
Maybe we
gunships
still
at
have-
all. Uh-oh, what's happening?
Dr. Freeman? Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived. You've done a great deal in a small time span. You've done so well, in fact, that I've received some interesting offers for your services. Ordinarily, I wouldn't contemplate them, but these are extraordinary times. Rather than offer you the illusion of free choice, I will take the liberty
Illusion of free
choosing
choice, he's
for
referencing the
you.
end of Half-Life
If
1, where he
and
gave you a
when
false
your
choice.
time comes round again. I do apologize for what must seem
Oh,
to
God, he
you
looks
an
so creepy.
arbitrary imposition, Dr. Freeman. I trust it will all make sense to you in the course of... Well, I'm really not at liberty to say. In the meantime, this is where I get off.
I like how it sounds like he's walking on concrete. And that's the disappointing ending of Half-Life 2. And I think that's what a lot of people are maybe missing out around, like, the narrative around Half-Life 2. Like these days, like very recently, the writer of Half-Life 2, Mark Laidlaw, you know, he doesn't work at Valve anymore, and he published this thing called Epistle 3. And Epistle 3 is kind of reads like this like thinly veiled fan fiction of what Half-Life 2 or Half-Life 3 would have been about. And then if you read that short story also has kind of this weird, disappointing ending where they kind of argue that none of your actions made any difference or anything. And I think that's kind of been Half-Life style all the time. It's always like a really interesting, solid build up until you hit the final set piece, and then it just kind of pulls the rug out from underneath you. Which is, you know, very realistic, very adult, very mature, but I understand if a lot of people find that kind of disappointing or like unsatisfying. I remember when I first played this and I reached the ending, I was kind of disappointed by it because I didn't really understand what was going on really, or what that was about. And it also seemed kind of like a cop-out to me, where they ran out of time to make an ending, so then that's just what they made the ending. Or maybe that's what they planned the whole time, I don't know. But either way, that's the end of Half-Life 2. Thanks for watching. As for future games, what I'm gonna do next, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might want to try some smaller, shorter games for a little while. I don't think I'll do Half-Life 2 Episode 1 yet. I might like come back around to those maybe. But I'll try to maybe do something else. I don't know. Probably some other kind of first-person game. Maybe something kind of short, on the shorter side. I don't know. But I hope that was fun. And tune in next week to see what surprises I have in store for you as to what the next game will be. Again, I don't even know what the next game is gonna be.
Lamar!
Oh.
Blast that little... Where did she get to?
Head crabs are pretty cute. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace out, and see you next week, hopefully. Bye.